Hi, this is Elliot Wavesage. I want to go ahead and do a quick market update. Like always, none of this is financial advice. Always do what's best for you. Just use this for your education, entertainment purposes only. So we definitely saw something, pretty nasty with Bitcoin, and so we also are seeing Nvidia, the semis drop. So there's a lot of talk of there's a crash, there's a massive market drop coming, and but I'll say the interest rates and the dollar index don't support a crash. They don't support a crash yet. So let's just jump into Bitcoin real quick. So I still go with this count in Bitcoin that we're in some kind of 4 and a 1-2 pattern. We did hold this low, and we did play this out as a WXY with an extended Y leg, and we did erase that divergence. Now, if you watch my videos over the weekend, I said this really is gotta take a dump to erase that. We really did, and I mentioned about don't be surprised if it goes deeper because we had a lot of ground to cover on that 4-hour, and now that we've done that, the bottom could be in. Now, what happens if the bottom is not? We just go lower. Well, you have this 56,007 level, and you'll still need to look for capitulation. So we'd want to look for even more selling, and then we would have a higher degree correction, and wave 4 would come down here in some kind of 3-wave move. And I will say though, this type of correction will start to support a potential scenario that it's no longer a wave 4, that this is another 1-2. Now, the alternative, the more bearish alternative is if that pivot breaks, this pivot here at 56, 8, you only have 3 up. Could it be a massive flat? And then we go all the way back down to retest this low or break it. That can only be possible, in my opinion, is if the market is going to have a massive collapse, and the dollar index needs to run higher. So I don't. So a lot of people will want to stop out here, but I don't want to do that. I want to still try to play this 4. I only want to stop out of Bitcoin is if we break 56.8. We're somewhere here, and the dollar index breaks this high right here, 106.54, to start a new swing higher. If those two things happen, or if just the dollar index breaks, I don't want to be in Bitcoin anymore, right? Because this is the dollar index on Bitcoin's last downtrend, right? So we need, if the dollar index is going to surprise to the upside to finish out the move up here, that's going to bring selling across the market like we haven't seen, like we saw back here. So this will change the nature of the market. And here you have another cup and maybe a handle. So you got to respect the dollar breakout. The dollar, you have to trade, you have to change at a dime. Now, is the time to change yet? No. But I got to keep an open mind that that things could happen. Now, look what happened today. We had this nice impulse down, or one more swing. So this too is in. So maybe it's already starting to move down. So maybe the drop would have been even more severe even if this hadn't happened. So I think right now, that's how I would trade Bitcoin. I would look at the dollar index as well as these levels. If you break this level, I'm still not a seller of Bitcoin unless the dollar index breaks that high I showed you. If the dollar index breaks that high, then I don't want to really be in the Bitcoin trade anymore, nor the precious metals. And I know this is hard on people to hear that. Right? How can you just give up? We can't. It's not. It's just trading the market's technicals. So but this technical setup is still valid, and actually we're starting to see this pullback. So maybe we're already going to get this wave 3 soon, and that will cause upside. I cannot fathom. It will be hard for me to believe the dollar index will drop like this and Bitcoin will not really. It's just hard for me. There cannot be a double top in Bitcoin. I just can't process that technically. Now, if Bitcoin's going to double top and crash, we need to come out of this. We need to come out in the dollar index. So this is important. This is important because there is a bearish pattern and there's a bullish side. So, but I believe in the bullish side of it because of how the dollar index bottomed here. So we'll just leave it that way for now. But that's how I trade Bitcoin. So right now, Bitcoin, there's nothing to do. The diamond hands. This was just a shakeout. And look, on the technicals, the RSI couldn't get any more oversold. The daily reset, the last time we were down here at Bitcoin was at 24,000. I mean, it sets you up for another major cycle higher, right? I mean, it isn't just going to go like that, right? It's almost, it's out of room. The sellers are almost exhausted on the daily cycle. Now, there could still be more room. I give it that, and this 4 could shift over a little bit, but I don't think that's the case. Now, if we go into this 4 into this area, it's still a 4, but once the dollar index breaks that high, it's not a 4 anymore. It's not a 4. I will not call it a 4. I will call this a massive 3-wave move, and this will be a flat, an A, a B, and some C leg. Could it be? It could be a running flat. It may not make it all the way down, but it may make it, you know, maybe down to the 32,000 area as a run-in flat. So I would it changes everything, and then also, you know, the market's going to drop significantly if that happens, right? So it's going to change everything. So that dollar index is important. It's an important bull-bear line, in my opinion, but the bulls still are in control. And of course, rates is a close second behind the dollar index, and the bulls are still in control of that. So there's no reason to panic out of the market despite what happened today. The technicals support more upside from these instruments. Now, let's go through the stocks. Dow Jones Index made another one too. It looks like. You know, it could be an ugly 3, 4, 5, but usually 3 is not that short. You know, so normally it's like a 1, 2, or we go back into like this. Let's see. Yeah, no divergence. I mean, there's a chance this could be a 3-wave move and a connector. And again, for a much bigger drop, that's possible. But for now, I don't like labeling it that way. The bull case has been playing out. Now, SPY, we have the buy area here at 538.61, and it looks like it's ready to do that and maybe fill this gap. The triple Qs is in the buy area right now. It's a buy right now. So I would expect the triple Qs should bounce and surprise people with more upside, or this is another one too. So one or the other. Interesting time. IWM bounced, and again, just like the Dow, we had this 1, 2. We were here, boom, 1, and now we're in another 2. So the market is building momentum today. They're trying to build momentum, and of course, this supported GameStop most of the day, and then of course when we got the sellers in, it brought it back down. So if people shorting GameStop, it's like pissing into the wind here. This is like pissing into the wind, because the IWM just overwhelmed you. But then once the IWM started turning, then of course GameStop started turning, and you know, and GameStop hit its own one. You know, this could be another 1, 2, or you know, or it's a 2 here. Doesn't really matter. We'll have to wait and see how this plays out. But that's a count for now. Again, this 2 could just keep going a little bit lower. We don't know, but it's a slave to this structure. It's a slave because it needs this wave 3. It needs this. Small caps need this. Neo needs it. Plug needs it. Name your small cap needs this wave 3 to get going. Soundhound, Symbiotic. You know, I can go through the list of them all. RXRX. Now, The Hang Seng finished its connector, and this to me looks like 3, a connector, and then we should go lower, or we surprise an X and make a higher connector, and then the target is raised. So one or the other. But that's how I look at the Hang Seng right now. But I don't like trading it anymore. Bitcoin we talked about. Some of the other cryptos I'll just cover real quick. Link saw some capitulation and then a nice V bottom. We almost took that peak out again. So this obviously people want to buy the dip in this coin. It's still technically holding 11.9. So Bitcoin Cash had a, we were short of the buy area here, and this was, but now we were well in it, and we actually have a nice bullish engulfing candle. So it's trying to come out of this like the rest of the market. And then Litecoin looks like it almost hit our target, missed it by like $1. It could still maybe drop a little bit lower, but it's should be close. So again, looking for these cryptos to bounce if these structures will hold. Oil, we're trying to finish this E wave. Silver market is stuck in decision. Do we want to dump to 27 or do we want to rip to 35? Again, what's the dollar index going to do? Flip a coin. Dollar index collapses, this will collapse like this. If dollar index rises, it goes down. If dollar index collapses, this rises to 35. Gold's in the same situation. Indecision. Now platinum's turned out of the buy area. Platinum actually shows that perhaps these will turn higher. We'll see. Of course, the dollar index, we're keeping an eye on that. Let's take a look at see if we see anything else out there. Let's go to technology. How's Apple doing? We're still in this wave 4. Looks like should be coming to an end soon. Again, you have a buy area in Apple. Looks like you were in a buy area on close today here. Just like the Qs should be turning higher for 5, or this is another one too. How's Amazon doing? Looks like another one too. Okay, let's look at Tesla. Again, Tesla's real erratic. I think it's trying to kill leverage, I think, in the system. But again, this is 3. So it could drop and still be in this higher degree too, and just marginally break that low. There's a lot of possibilities that I see. Let's take a look. 4 hour. That looks like 5. That looks like 3. This looks like 3. So I don't want to label. So I think the jury's out if we're still in this 2 wave here, or we're in another 1 2. You see, I only see 3 waves. So I would have to label it like this. Something like that. Or it could be more bullish. Something like that. So it's hard to say what we'll get. But I just don't like selling it no matter what. See if TSLL gives us any clues. It's kind of the same looking chart. Adobe should be finishing up wave 5. So now we could even see a gap fill for all we know on the back end of this. Now AMD, we talked about this structure. So we broke this high. You see that. So the odds are that it's actually going to run higher. And I mentioned that. See, we didn't break that low. So the odds are telling me that we'll run higher. But again, let's take a look at where we are. That looks like 3. Yeah, I still would be careful. You don't get a Y like this. So I would still be careful. We did break this high, but it could still be three waves in a connector. I just don't like trading AMD in this area. I either like to buy it here, um, or hold it, and I'm already long from this area. So I just think this is day trader war, and I can label it in either way as 50-50. ARM trying to get to our buy area at 136. That'd be a great opportunity if that happens. How about some of the other AI stocks? We'll just, NVIDIA. So we had this as a connector. We dropped. This could be the new connector. Let's take a look. It looks like it looks like we got an impulse finish in here. Yep. So we have an impulse. Um, it's either an impulse or this is the connector. So this buy area is invalidated. Um, when I look at this, if this is the connector here, right? If this is the connector, I'll give you guys a new target to buy it. Again, this would be real shallow. This would be a crash correction. And we're looking at 99.08, $93. That would be where I buy it now in this area. If this is a crash correction. But don't be surprised it finishes A. We finish A, and you get B, and you get C later. So just don't be surprised that happens, especially if the Qs are going to bounce. And the Qs will bounce and fail, right? So if this happens, and the Qs, we get 5. We could get 5 and then a bigger pullback. And that will allow NVIDIA to find its final low. So just keep that in mind. So let's go back to where we were with NVIDIA. So NVIDIA was there, Palantir, looking for this rug pull, right? And maybe we're getting it. Again, great opportunity. May present itself in this area. How is SMCI? We did break this high. Looks like 2, maybe down, maybe a retest of this low. SoundHound has a new connector with a new buyer at 375 against 353. Symbiotic, I want to see more downside all the way to 25. Magnite, I want to see a little more capitulation there. Trade Desk, I gave a warning that this could be a major top here. We don't know yet until they drop earnings or something. I don't know. Broadcom mentioned the gap fill in wave 2, but it typically likes to retrace the whole fifth, so don't be surprised it goes all the way back down to 1300 for another great opportunity. Dell, I love to buy Dell at 109 if it can get there under 100. This is definitely something I want to buy. If I can get Dell in this area in the 100s, great opportunity for investors, I think. Let's take a look at some of these other ones. GameStop I covered. AMC, I still looking for this little bit of this capitulation. But look at that RSI. I mean, it could be, this too could be in just like at any moment. I gave this update on my channel over the weekend, and look, it went vertical 21% gains. And I told people this was a massive low risk, high reward trade. And that's what it turned out to be. If you were able to get in on open or get in after hours or pre-market. So why it's pumping, I have no idea. The news. I've been showing Plug Power. again, small caps are trying to reverse. I do believe Plug Power is trying to come out of this wave 2 low. And again, we split the 4 into 2, which is typically what you want to see. Then let's see, what was the one? Let's go to Neo. Neo's coming out of this correction too. It looks impulsive. I mean, it would be nice to get one more high that really confirmed this impulse off the low, but this looks like it's trying to turn off this low. How's PDD to him? That's one we haven't looked at in a while. Looking for this rug pull here down to 105. Just kind of looking at some different things. All right, so that's technology, then healthcare. Nothing really interests me in healthcare today. Let's see if we've got, yeah, that's a major top, I think. Illumina, we're talking about this wave 3 potentially breaking out. Lilly, close to either a massive top or will accelerate and erase divergence, one or the other. mRNA, looks like that's the low there, unless we dump on this trend line and we can get that 4 there. Novavax is trying to form an early connector, which, well, we see how we really wiped some divergence out. So it may have finished early. If we actually take that low out, that would be a bad sign. Pfizer looks like it is turning off this wave too. ResMed. Yeah, ResMed is 3 waves. I don't like trading that one. Tandem took a dump. How did Medtronic do today? Yeah, kind of weak. Not too bad though. Viking was choppy today. It was up and down. Again, we want to see one more high to confirm the bottom, the 5 waves. Right now we really just have 3. So we need one more. We'll see if we can get that. Okay, so then let's look at crypto, because that was a big sell-off. So BCHG, very interesting. It almost actually held this low while Bitcoin Cash made a lower low. That's actually a very big bullish divergence. When you see that, that's typically bottoms in those crypto coins. But we did break the low just slightly, so I'm not concerned. We never really got to the buy area at 771, but we're so close. I'm not really too concerned. This is relatively should be the low, and LTCN actually did not take this low out. So Litecoin, the coin made a lower low, but LTCN didn't. So that's bullish, guys. That's a big bullish divergence. ARCB held this low. That's what you need. Coinbase, you know, it's starting to look like Coinbase is finishing this C leg. I was looking for this C leg. So it looks like we're doing that. So we should give a setup. So the target in Coinbase for a buy opportunity would be right around 181, 181, 161. This area. Of course, divergence has to get erased on the 4-hour and daily, but we'll see if that can happen. I was just looking at other things, see if there's anything. This was up as we're, wave 3. Mara, weak in a connector. MGI trying to finish this C leg. MicroStrategy, I have it doing something like this, but it could do a Coinbase and just be done. But this looks like 5 up, so I don't think it's going to happen. I think Bitcoin makes a wave 5, tops out, and then drops. Riot holding up. I do think that's a low. This wolf did get rejected in this wave 4. And I don't like touching Zcash. It is tempting to trade it. There's your connector. You know, it's kind of sitting in a buy area. Uh, we, we need more divergence. So it still needs more downside. Then commodities, again, we're seeing some of these producers surge in and stuff. So that's interesting, right? Schlumberger, I think it's safe to say that two's in. OIH, actually I take that back because OIH, that's not a low. So maybe Schlumberger is bouncing early. So we may get another connector and need to shift our targets. I think this is just I think it's premature. I think it's got more downside. Take that back because of the OIH. How's the GDX complex doing? So we still held that bottom. We're still trying to come out. We'll see if we can do that. How about our PLL? Oh, so close. So close. But so far. 4-hour divergence is almost erased in the daily. So yeah, it's got more downside, just like Bitcoin needed. So it's got more downside. It's coming. More capitulation. Don't like buying it yet. Don't like buying it yet. A lot of these lithiums, though, they're getting pretty beat up. How's that BTU? We have kept an eye on BTU. We need to watch BTU. Looks like it does want this higher degree correction we've been waiting patiently for, but we also need to respect the ultimate dump to 12. Okay, so that's all I've got. Rig is another. I call him the energy meme. This is an energy meme coin, an energy meme stock. 242. A buck, under $2, as long as 57 cents holds. Play a nice wave 3 breakout. This would be a good setup for your speculators, your pump and dumpers. I'll definitely be buying 1,000 of these, at least down here if we can get it for long-term holds, because this cycle will end. We'll get another swing up. And I mean, you could do the math. If we can get it at $2 and could sell it up 10, 13, 14 bucks, in a couple years, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. And I think that's going to happen. But you're going to have to hold through this, whatever this is coming. All right, so that's all I've got today. So what's the market forecast? Bitcoin really needs to turn here. It really needs to turn because if it doesn't turn and we do break this pivot, that's the first condition for a much bigger collapse, not just in Bitcoin but in the market in general. And then I'll be watching the dollar index like a hawk, and then like a computer, if the dollar index crosses my threshold and Bitcoin is down here, I have to leave the crypto trades. I just have to do it for risk management purposes and just take the profit I've got on it. And just wait for a different setup that may emerge later, and that's just the way things go until the setup's clearer. But I think for right now, this was a pretty good bounce and was a pretty good amount of capitulation on Mt. Gox news. It's funny how they bring out Mt. Gox when they need to get a sell-off. I've heard about Mt. Gox selling coins. I mean, geez, I heard about it. I heard about it back here, and this when we were down trading in this shit here, and all that. Mt. Gox, holy shit, they're selling everything. They're liquidating, every coin, all these coins. Mt. Gox, oh shit, Mt. Gox, and then you hear about Mt. Gox again, and this. So Mt. Gox always shows up when they need you to, give up your Bitcoin. That's when the Mt. Gox. So this is just bullshit. If you're selling because you're worried Mt. Gox is dumping, you guys are idiots because that's just that Mt. Gox has been selling this shit since it collapsed. I mean, Mt. Gox, I don't care about Mt. Gox, right, guys? Mt. Gox is just another seller in the market, right? They're just another seller, and there's a lot of sellers, but there's a lot of buyers too. And the thing about it is, the people panicking out of that is just weak hands. It's people giving up Bitcoin for no reason in a bull trend. I mean, do you even know if Mt. Gox? I mean, do you personally know someone in Mt. Gox? I mean, what if it's all like lies? Even how do we even know they're selling? But whatever it was, it scared a lot of people. A lot of people got scared. Oh my God, they're selling Mt. Gox. I don't care about Mt. Gox. Fuck Mt. Gox. Fuck those guys. I don't care about Mt. Gox. I'm gonna hold, and I look at the market conditions, and that's how I trade. I don't trade on news like that, news headlines. And if you trade on that, don't be surprised if you dump thinking Mt. Gox was gonna, dump on you, and you weren't gonna be fooled by them, and the Bitcoin's up at 70,000, and going into Fortune's Lie. Just don't be surprised. And you're like, what the hell? I thought Mt. Gox was bearish, and you got played. Because Mt. Gox news always drops in these situations. I was just surprised there was so much capitulation because that news. But I guess they haven't dropped that news in a long time, so it's been a while. But anyway, guys, that's all I got. Good luck trading tomorrow, and we'll talk again later.